December 10th, 1968. A cold, rainy morning in western Tokyo. A bank car from the Nihon Shintaku Ginko Bank was making a routine delivery. Inside were 3 metal boxes containing employee bonuses, nearly 300 million yen. At the time, over 800,000 US dollars. Today, it would be worth close to 10 million. The car drove down a quiet road next to the Tokyo Fuchu prison. It was an ordinary trip on an ordinary day. But in the next 3 minutes, one man, disguised as a police officer, would commit the most audacious, most brilliant, and most baffling crime in modern Japanese history. A crime that remains completely unsolved to this day. This is the story of the 300 million yen heist. The plan was genius in its simplicity. The mastermind behind the heist had done his homework. A few days earlier, a threatening letter had been sent to the bank manager, promising to blow up his home if the bank didn't deliver a sum of money. The police had investigated, and security around the bank was heightened. This wasn't part of the heist, it was a feint. A piece of misdirection to make the bank employees and police nervous, edgy, and more likely to follow the orders of someone they thought was an authority figure. On that rainy December morning, as the bank car drove down the road, a uniformed police officer on a white Yamaha motorcycle pulled them over. This was not unusual. Given the bomb threat, a police escort or check-in was expected. The 4 bank employees in the car complied immediately. The young officer approached the car. He looked official. He was calm. He leaned in and delivered a chilling, urgent message. "We have just received word from headquarters," he said, his voice firm. "The bank manager's house has been blown up. There is a report that dynamite has also been planted under this very car." Panic erupted inside the car. The threat was real. The officer ordered the 4 men out, telling them he needed to check the undercarriage for explosives. As the terrified bank employees huddled in the rain, the officer crawled under the car. A few seconds later, they saw thick, billowing smoke and bright orange flames pour out from underneath the vehicle. "It's going to explode," the officer screamed. "Get away! Get back!" The 4 men didn't hesitate. They sprinted away, diving for cover in the nearby woods, desperate to escape the blast they were sure was coming. They waited and waited, but there was no explosion. After a few moments of silence, one of the employees cautiously peered back at the road. The smoke was clearing. The flames were gone. The police officer was gone. The white police motorcycle was still there. And the bank car was also gone. The thief was the police officer. The police motorcycle was a fake, painted to look like an official vehicle. And the dynamite? It was a simple, brilliantly executed piece of theater, a common road flare. He hadn't used a gun, he hadn't used violence, he used psychology. He created a scenario so believable and so terrifying that the 4 men willingly abandoned a fortune. The thief calmly got into the bank car, drove it to a nearby location, transferred the money to his own vehicle, and vanished. He became a ghost. What followed was one of the largest police investigations in Japanese history. Over 170,000 police officers were assigned to the case over the next 7 years. They investigated 110,000 suspects. They collected over 120 pieces of evidence left at the scene by the thief, including the fake motorcycle, a helmet, a raincoat, and the smoke flare. But every single piece of evidence was a dead end. They were all common, mass-produced items, impossible to trace. The thief had been meticulous, a ghost who left no trail. The police released a detailed sketch of the suspect's face based on the bank employees' descriptions. The sketch was plastered all over Japan, but no one was ever positively identified. The biggest lead came from the son of a real police officer, a young man who looked remarkably like the sketch. But he had a perfect alibi. Tragically, he took his own life shortly after being questioned, unable to handle the pressure of the suspicion. The police later confirmed he was innocent. Years went by. The leads dried up. The case grew cold. In 1975, 7 years after the crime, the statute of limitations for the robbery ran out. The thief, wherever he was, could no longer be charged. In 1988, 15 years later, the statute of limitations for any civil liability also expired. The ghost was now completely and legally free. He had gotten away with the perfect crime. To this day, the 300 million yen heist remains a national obsession in Japan. Who was the man on the motorcycle? Was he a lone genius or part of a larger group? Did he spend the money, or is it still hidden somewhere, waiting to be found? The man who stole a fortune without firing a shot, without throwing a punch, simply vanished into the rain, leaving behind only a perfect, unsolved mystery.